What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of OTB Extra for your Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining us right here on your Tuesday evenings, wherever you may be. Guys, we're just going to be covering 3 news stories for the week today, as we got news on what Billy Gunn had to say about CM Punk. We all know that CM Punk is coming back this Saturday for the AEW Collision debut. It's going to be big. It's going to be wild. Let's see what Billy Gunn has to say about CM Punk. Also, on the WWE side of things, WWE wants Drew McIntyre back for Money in the Bank. I got all the news when it comes to the update on Drew McIntyre right here on OTB Extra. And finally, guys, people in WWE were frustrated over the WWE Women's Championship situation. We have the WWE Women's Championship, which is replacing the Raw Women's Championship, and the WWE Women's World Championship, which is replacing the SmackDown Women's Championship. That was presented last night on Monday Night Raw to Rhea Ripley, and obviously the Women's Championship was presented to Asuka this past Friday on Friday Night SmackDown. Sorry, my voice. But guys, we're going to be talking about all of that today right here on this OTB Extra. But before we do get into everything, make sure to hit the like button, follow here on OTB for all the latest and greatest news. Sorry for no Monday Night Raw review last night. I was just not feeling well, and it's been a tough weekend for me personally, so it's just been an up and down ride for me. But I will promise you guys that you will be getting a AEW Dynamite post show tomorrow right here on Outside the Brand. So guys, you guys are not going to want to miss any of that. That is the final Dynamite before AEW Collision, so that's going to be big. We're going to be getting things started, so let's get right into everything for this OTB Extra. Billy Gunn on CM Punk. CM Punk makes his AEW return this Saturday, June 17th, for the debut episode of AEW Collision. Despite what people have said about CM Punk, Eric Bischoff, Road Dogg, for example, there are many people who are in support of the decision of CM Punk coming back. During an interview with Sportskeeda, Billy Gunn expressed why this is a good idea to bring CM Punk back to AEW. Quote, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a positive thing. I really do, because he is still, no matter what goes on behind the scenes, he is still got it. He's still the guy. He still has huge drawing power, and that only is going to help us. Why would you not want a guy in here that can help? I don't feel he's as toxic as everybody says he is, but then again, I am an old person and I don't really care about all that kind of stuff. All I care about is what he can do for the company and what he can do for the talent in the company, and he is still very good at that. We all have our days where we go a little off track. I can't speak about everything that happened to that, because everything I heard is all hearsay, and I don't speak on hearsay because I'm just not a gossiper. In the general scheme of things, I think it's a good thing. It really is, because he's just going to help the company all around. He's going to help the talent that's on AEW Collision or whatever. And I mean, when a single guy can sell out, a Chicago arena, of course, I'm going to say you might want to keep him around a little bit. But when personalities on the other side, sometimes you got to set that aside. I've been in the business for a long time. There have been some people that I have despised, but I still would work with them, and that's just being honest. I still will do my job, because my job isn't to like you or dislike you. My job is to go out there and have the best match and do the best for the company that you can. and that's what you do. I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to the gym or nothing. But when it comes to business, when it comes to stepping in the ring, it should always be business, and it should always be you doing the best that you can at that moment in that specific time that you are given. So I think it's a good thing. I really do. All feelings aside, it's going to be a good thing. It really is. End quote. Billy Gunn is all for CM Punk coming back. Now, obviously, that is just one man's decision, one man's opinion on CM Punk coming back. CM Punk is a very polarizing figure. We all know this. We all know that CM Punk, when it comes to AEW fans and basically wrestling fans around the world, it's a very polarizing topic. Do you want CM Punk back in the company? Do you not want CM Punk back in the company? Are you just fed up with all the drama that CM Punk has brought into the pro wrestling business since being a part of it? I am for CM Punk coming back, but I would not lie to you guys and say that I'm a little bit skeptical onto the reasons why things are happening into the way they are. I think AEW honestly kind of did the wrong decision of trying to, hype CM Punk's comeback for the second time. We all know how things went out the first time at the first dance for the second episode of AEW Rampage, that he was coming back to pro wrestling in a 7-year hiatus. That was huge. That was absolutely big, and that was big for AEW. AEW and CM Punk have had great stuff together. I mean, CM Punk was in the best rivalry in AEW history with MJF, and I'm not going to be disputed about that. I mean, he's done great things for AEW since coming here. It's just a matter of what can CM Punk do, and if CM Punk can keep his head on straight in order to get the job done for the company. I think this Collision show is going to be a big thing for AEW. AEW Collision happening this Saturday is only going to help the company. It gets a third show out there. It's live, 8 to 10. It's a great thing for AEW. Let's just hope that CM Punk can do something about that when it comes to getting his head on straight. We'll see what happens. I'm very looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see what happens when AEW Collision does go on the air on TNT. So, guys, I want to talk about Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre, this man, Drew McIntyre, he has not been seen since WrestleMania. We all know he has not been seen since WrestleMania and that amazing triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And, Drew McIntyre, he is slated to come back to the company. We want him to come back to the company. We want him to, there's a lot of things that WWE wants for Drew McIntyre. Because Drew McIntyre is a top guy. You don't want to lose somebody like Drew McIntyre. Hold on one second. Let me just get this up real quick. Okay, so WWE wants Drew McIntyre back in time for WWE Money in the Bank. We all know Money in the Bank is happening in the UK, in London, at the O2 Arena. It's a big deal. It is a big deal for WWE. And it looks like fans could see Drew McIntyre back on WWE TV by the end of this month, ahead of the next premium live event, which is Money in the Bank. McIntyre hasn't been seen since WrestleMania 39, like I said, where he worked a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title against Sheamus and Gunther. Gunther is still the Intercontinental Champion as of this recording. Coming out of the show, it was reported that McIntyre is not happy with WWE's creative decision on his character, and both sides are far apart in terms of a new deal when it comes to his WWE contract, as his existing contract is expected to expire early 2024. Depending on whether WWE will add time to his deal to make up for the time that he has been out with an injury, the previous update was that WWE Creative was holding up his WWE return. PW Insider Elite reported today that there has been a push within WWE Creative to have him back in a storyline mixed within the Money in the Bank build for the weekend, which happens to be on July 1st due to him being one of the biggest European superstars within the company. And there were meetings last week regarding pitches for Drew McIntyre. The report added that there's been a big crux in talks between the two sides right now is how Drew McIntyre will be used on TV and how meaningful the storylines will be. The former WWE champion doesn't want to aimlessly float on television because he has already proven his value to the company, which he has. I mean, he basically held the entire pandemic era down as WWE champion. He did not win that championship in front of fans, which absolutely sucks for him, but he definitely held down the company during that time, and he has definitely proven his worth when it comes to being a part of the WWE. You don't want to lose a guy like Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre is a company guy. If you lose somebody like a Drew McIntyre, that is big. That is absolutely huge for the morale of the company, for the locker room, and honestly for the fans. Because if you lose somebody like a Drew McIntyre, that's a huge hit. That is a huge hit. And if you lost him to say, like, let's say AEW, for instance, that's big, man. I mean, a lot of people are already speculating that because of all of this, he could show up at All In the UK in front of those 90,000 plus fans, possibly for AEW when they go to Wembley. So, I mean, like, listen, I don't think that's going to be the case. I really don't. I think WWE will have Drew McIntyre, and I think he'll stay in WWE, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now when it comes to Drew McIntyre. Would I love to see him back in WWE before Money in the Bank? Of course I would. I love Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is great. If anything, you can have him be a part of the Money in the Bank ladder matches, like a surprise entrant type of thing, and that would be fantastic. That would be a great way to get him back on WWE TV in front of that audience in the UK at the O2 Arena. Perfect spot for him, you know? And if you won, that would be great too, you know. So it's definitely interesting to see. I want Drew McIntyre back. WWE wants Drew McIntyre back, so it's not like they are just letting him go by any stretch of the imagination. They want him back. It's just that there's going to be a little bit of time in order to try to get him back within the graces of WWE. So I'm loving it, man. Hopefully Drew McIntyre does come back to WWE, and if we do see him before Money in the Bank or at Money in the Bank in the O2, it's going to be a great thing to see, man. I can't wait. And finally, guys, before we get out of here, I do want to say a special thank you to our sponsor for today's episode of SeatGeek. You guys can use the code OTB at checkout for $20 off your first purchase, and you're getting the best deal using SeatGeek when it comes to their ticket prices. Green means good, red means bad. You're getting the best deal using SeatGeek. We appreciate them for being a part of the OTB family, and we appreciate you guys for being a part of the OTB family as well. Use the code OTB at checkout for $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek, and we love having them over here. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel right here on OTB. But finally, guys, we're going to get right into the final news story. Now, people in WWE were frustrated with confusion about situation of WWE's top champions. So, when Roman Reigns got COVID-19 in January of 2022 ahead of day one, WWE came up with the idea to unify the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, with Reigns beating Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at WrestleMania 38. We all know Roman Reigns is on this huge 3+ year run of like over 1,000-day reign as WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. WWE did consider having the title split up last year by WrestleMania 39, but ended up, being next. That whole thing just, went south. WWE had plans made after Mania to split the titles as well, with Raw getting its own championship which ended up leading to the World Heavyweight Championship coming back into the fold of WWE. Triple H brought back the World Heavyweight Championship, and they, legitimately merged the WWE and Universal Championship into one championship that was presented at Roman Reigns' 1,000-day celebration. And we all know the new World Heavyweight Champion in Seth Rollins won that championship at Night of Champions at that point in time against AJ Styles in that triple threat tournament that concluded at Night of Champions. So it was announced on Friday Night SmackDown that the company will unify the Women's Tag Team Championships and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, which is something that I've been wanting since since the draft when Alba Fire and Isla Dawn got drafted over to Friday Night SmackDown. In 2 weeks, on Friday Night SmackDown, NXT champions Isla Dawn and Alba Fire will take on the Women's Tag Team Champions in Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. On Friday Night SmackDown, Raw Women's Champion Asuka was presented the new Women's Championship that looks like Roman Reigns' new undisputed WWE Universal Championship. It's legitimately the exact same belt, but with a white strap, and it's the WWE Women's Undisputed Champion or Undisputed Women's Champion. The Eagle Eye fans out there, legitimately, they made the championship look bigger, and they found out that it's the Undisputed Women's Championship on the actual nameplate itself. So that's interesting in its own right. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reported that the name was changed to clean up due to the Raw and SmackDown situation because of the WWE draft. The SmackDown Women's Championship was on Raw. The Raw Women's Championship was on SmackDown. It was very confusing. Nobody had no idea what was going on, and they were just, cleaning up the situation when it comes to the branded titles being on the wrong show. So, SmackDown situation because of the WWE draft, like I said. WWE wanted Asuka's title to look like Reigns' title to help portray that it's on an even playing field. And Rhea's championship, which was presented to her on Monday Night Raw last night, is the exact same thing as Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship, but it's a white strap as well. So it said here in the report that Rhea's championship will get some sort of adjustment when it comes to either the name or the design. It's legitimately just a World Heavyweight Championship, but with a white strap, as we all saw from last night's Monday Night Raw. So the report noted that at one point, WWE was frustrated with people were frustrated within the company, and one source said, "quote a simple misuse of the term undisputed in two separate occasions. Roman Reigns' title is being referred to as the undisputed title, despite Rollins being a world champion on Monday Night Raw," which again, that's just to them that's honestly semantic. Like to them, it's semantics, but to us, it's just frustrating and it's confusing because at the end of the day, undisputed means one champion, one world champion within the confines of WWE. Roman's the one champion, but then Seth Rollins is the world heavyweight champion on Monday Night Raw. It doesn't really make much sense when you're the undisputed champion, but there's another champion on the other brand. And same goes for the women's championship situation as well. Asuka is the undisputed women's champion over there on Friday Night SmackDown, but Rhea Ripley is now the WWE Women's World Champion. So I ask this because let's be honest, aren't they both world champions within the confines of their separate divisions within WWE? She is the world champion on Monday Night Raw as a WWE Women's World Champion, and Asuka is the world champion technically of the SmackDown Women's division, right? So, I mean, I understand when people say it's like what they did back then when it comes to the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship back in the day, but guys, they're the world champions of their divisions. So, I mean, it's very confusing, and the way that they go about these undisputed namings and all that kind of stuff. It's stupid. It's honestly stupid, but it's just the way WWE is doing things now. I like that they're trying to clean up the whole Raw and SmackDown branded championship situation, but they did it all wrong to me. And that's just my opinion, but that's just one man's opinion. Like I said about the whole Billy Gunn thing, that's one man's opinion about CM Punk coming back. There's just one man's opinion about how they did the WWE Championship situation here. So, a higher up in WWE noted that, quote, that's admittingly confusing. So at least somebody in WWE knows what the fans are talking about here. It's admittedly confusing. I don't know why there is an instance of doing that. And a lot of people have brought that up and it's been dismissed, end quote. So WWE knows that people are confused, and some people within the WWE are even confused themselves, but WWE is just continuing to dismiss it. We're just going to, put that off the back and just, let it go, let it slide. So WWE, they did what they did when it comes to the championship situations, I should say, rather. And the only championships that we need to clean up now are the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. You're not the undisputed Tag Team Champions when you have a Raw Championship and a SmackDown Championship, red and blue. No, you need to merge those championships, make one set of tag team titles, and have Kevin Owens float between Raw and SmackDown. That's it. That's what you need to do, and you need to have them float between both brands. Merge the tag team divisions, because 4 tag teams on Monday Night Raw is not a division, and 5 tag teams on Raw, on SmackDown rather, is not a tag team division. I'd rather have 9 to 10 tag teams in one division than 5 and 5 or 4 and 6 or 3 and set. Just merge them together, make one set of tag team titles, and have the champions float between Raw and SmackDown. That's what I do. When it comes to the women's tag team championship situation, I'm glad that they're unifying the titles, but the tag team championships still don't mean shit. It's not going to mean anything when Ronda and Shayna beat Isla Dawn and Alpha Fire, because you know what is going to happen. Ronda and Shayna are most likely going to retain the women's tag team championships and then take the NXT women's tag team championships. And don't even get me started on the way that they're actually going to go about that, because now the whole plan is for them to go back into the original plan that they had for the women's tag team championships, where they can be defended on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. That's a whole freaking debacle, and that's a whole other different story. But guys, they're trying to clean things up, and I actually, commend WWE for doing that, but they are just, confusing the shit out of fans, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, that's what WWE does. They just do whatever they need to do or want to do, and we just kind of have to accept it. But guys, tell me what you guys think. Are you guys confused about the whole championship situation as much as other fans are? Let me know in the comments. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. If you guys like what you heard tonight, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to your channel if you haven't already, turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. We'll be live tomorrow for the AEW Dynamite post show right here on OTB, and I'll talk to you guys as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. We'll talk soon. Have a good night.